Hey folks, this is your hillbilly historian coming to you from the hills of East Tennessee, here in Appalachia. Coming to you with common sense, reason, truth, justice, and the American way. Today I want to talk about public education. And I say public because when you let the mob take over anything, it goes to hell in a handbasket. Now, what's the purpose of education? Now, this is an original Jerry Kidd, hillbilly historian quote. And I quote, "The sole purpose of education is to be able to recognize bullshit when you encounter it." And unquote. Believe me, there's so much bullshit in this world today. It's amazing, amazing. And education is supposed to gear you up. Socialism is bullshit. It's amazing. You know, when they come out and say that everything's going to be free, we're all going to live in peace and comfort and all that. Go down and look to see how the Cubans are living. Go see how the Chinese are living. Go check how the Russians used to live under communism and socialism. It's all pure bullshit. The free market capitalist environment is the only working system that coincides with human nature, and it must follow human nature. You should work for your benefit, and if you can work for extra benefit, people do it in a free market society. Check the United States here. We got over 25 million millionaires in this country. 1 out of every 14 people in this country is a millionaire. We got over 1,000 billionaires, more than the rest of the world put together. And we have the only trillionaire. So, shove that up your ass, you socialist bastards. You lying SOBs. You gutter trash. Believe me. You know, there's people out there so stupid that when they promise them free bus rides, oh, I'm going to vote for that. Free bus rides. Yeah, boy. But anyway, here we are. Let me tell you something about education. There's a high school in Chicago that not one single student in that high school, and it's a Chicago high school with thousands of students, not one single one can read. Not one! And only, I think, 1% can do basic math. We're talking basic math, you know. They can add 2 and 2 and come up with 4. I'll tell you what, folks, public education is spending $1 trillion a year of your money and wasting every penny of it. The only reason you pay property taxes is to support these buttholes that are wasting your money. Believe me, public education is a waste. Let me tell you why. The methodology used today is called warehousing. Warehousing. Well, let me tell you something about warehousing children. You have to transport them. You have to heat them. You have to cool them. You have to feed them. You have to make sure they're dry, comfortable, and that they have all the facilities necessary. That's called warehousing. And they're hauled to this huge warehouse that has lots of rooms, and the children have to get up and change rooms every now and then. And so there you go. You got this warehousing methodology that doesn't work. They have deleted those things from education that used to put our kids ahead of everybody else. We no longer teach that which you have to study to learn, like Latin and Greek. How long has it been since a child has been able to diagram a sentence? They don't do that anymore in school. They think it's a waste of time. But it was not a waste. You learned English by diagramming, but no more. And when I was in school, we had to stand up in front of the class and quote our multiplication tables. We didn't read them off a piece of paper. We had to quote them from our head. And we had to learn things. That's another thing they took out of education is rote learning, memory, using your memory. We used to have to learn things like the Pledge of Allegiance. We had to learn the Gettysburg Address. We had to learn great speeches, great commentary from great men. Not anymore. Everything now is on a state-driven computer system where the kids walk in the classroom, pull a computer out of a cabinet that recharges them overnight, and they have to do their lessons on these computers. And those are state-driven, state-written, and believe me, those people out the state don't know their asses from a hole in the ground. But they are drawing up the curriculum for your children. And they don't know jack shit about curriculum. They don't call in curriculum experts to write all this stuff. They just, some of it's pure garbage. Pure garbage. And your kids are studying lessons that are pure garbage. But they come over these state networks, and the kids, if they have a computer at home, can sign on to these lessons and do them at home. And most of them wait and do them at school. Some kids claim they're doing them at home, whether they are or not, I don't know. But this curriculum could all be done from home. Have a handful of teachers to be able to go out and help children get started and help children that have questions that the state can't answer. And they don't need to be warehoused. They don't need to be transported. They can stay at home. They've removed discipline from the school systems. Well, not all of it, but most of it. In your inner city schools, whites can't teach there because blacks won't take orders from a white teacher. It's the violence in schools, and believe me, there's a lot of violence in our schools, and the schools cover it up. Because if they report it, they get punished. It's sick. It really is. It's sick. So violence takes place. They cover it up and hide it within the schools. And there you go. They don't want to jeopardize this great fortune they got coming in. Your school systems have become your largest employers in these small counties, rural counties. So all the politics are built around the school system and how the school people vote. They're against vouchers, which where the money follows the child. They're against that because they're greedy. They want all the money. They want to waste all your money, not just a little of it. And it's to the tune of about $1 trillion a year now. And most of the big blue states, Illinois, New York, California, Washington, Oregon, Delaware, Maryland, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. Their school systems suck. They totally suck. They're not teaching these kids anything. And it's amazing. But they want more and more money. More money, more money. And it's just absolutely amazing what's going on. Let me tell you something. Get rid of public schools. You don't need them. You don't need them. These kids can do these lessons at home. Have a few teachers to help them out at home. Let the parents feed the children. You know, of course, the parents are going to raise hell because they want the school system to babysit their children all day so they can have a free day away from their children. That's taking away parental responsibility. So the parents suck. There you go. Now, we need to have these children stay at home. Let the parents feed them. Let the parents discipline them. Let the parents be responsible that they do their lessons. That should be a parental responsibility anyway. But the parents want to blame it on the teachers, and the teachers want to blame it on the parents. But if the kids stay at home, there's only one person to blame, that's the parents. And have a few teachers who will go into the homes and help children when they have a problem. And all education should be individualized anyway. I learned that early in my teaching. You know, this group teaching and thinking they all work at the same speed and the same level is horse shit. You teach at a certain speed, you leave your more intelligent kids behind, they get bored and become troublesome. The slower kids can't keep up. So there you go. Where do you go? At what speed do you teach? When you have a group of kids with all different levels of intelligence in your room. All education should be individualized. These state lessons, they should do those at their own speed, their own pace. When they need help, they get it. There you go. Let the parents be blessed with the responsibility of raising their children. And put more money in let the private schools exist. If a parent wants to send their kid to Baylor down in Chattanooga, then fine, good. There's great private schools in every city in America. New Orleans, Atlanta, all over. So if you want to send your kid and give them a very good education at private school level, you can do it. They do better teaching in the private schools anyway. There you are. They have discipline. They use rote learning. They're a little old-fashioned. And old-fashioned used to work. This modern shit don't add up to nothing. So there you go. And do away, and this is the biggest benefit of getting rid of public education, get rid of property taxes. Property taxes is the most evil, horrendous tax in the United States. You have to pay for your house every year. Even if you pay it off, you still have to pay for it. And if you miss that payment, they come with guns and take your house and property away from you. That should not happen anywhere in the United States of America. Never. Never. No property taxes, no confiscation of your home. You know, if you borrow money from a bank and you can't pay it back, then the bank forecloses. You know, but there ought to be better protections even against that. And but anyway, property taxes. If you didn't have to pay property taxes every year, and believe me, property taxes is a horrendous horrific burden on the American public. Governor of Florida proposed to get rid of property taxes in his state, and they already protect home ownership in Florida, and the state is growing faster than any other state in America. And if they get rid of property taxes in Florida, they have no income tax. Hell, everybody in America is going to move to Florida. We'll have 350 million people hanging on to that little peninsula down there. But, hey, there you go. Common sense, truth, justice, and the American way. It works. It works. High taxes. New York don't work. High taxes. Illinois don't work. You see where the Chicago Bears moved across the state line into Indiana? Good for them, by golly. And thousands upon thousands of companies are moving into southern states where taxes are low, where even states where there's no income taxes. Why the hell do you think Nashville's growing like crazy? And LA is turned to garbage, trash. San Francisco's turned to garbage, trash. Portland, Oregon's turned to garbage, trash. Seattle, Washington turned to garbage, trash. Because you got, for one thing, you got Democrat Marxists running those areas, and they don't know nothing except how to steal. And they just keep raising taxes till the tax base leaves. Then what do? Look at Detroit. In 1950s, Detroit was the wealthiest city on the planet Earth. The wealthiest city. 1.6 million people lived there. And they were all working, creating wealth like you wouldn't believe. And then they started electing Democrats. In the 1950s, 60s, they started electing Democrats. The blacks and the queers formed coalitions, put blacks in office, and they don't know how to govern. They don't think. They don't know what the American free market system means. They don't know anything. All they know how to do is steal, take, nationalize, tax, all that kind of crap. And then they waste it when they get it. And now Detroit is one of the poorest cities in America. Its population's down to less than 600,000. They can't even pay their street light bills. Isn't that amazing? How do you destroy the wealthiest city on the planet? You elect a damn Marxist, a Democrat. Like New York right now, elected this Marxist, Islamic, communist, and he's going to destroy the city of New York. People are moving out by the droves. He'll destroy it. New York, one of the greatest cities on earth. You keep electing these Democrats and these rhinos, you know, they haven't had a governor since Giuliani, or a mayor since Giuliani. Giuliani was a great mayor. He was America's mayor. He cleaned that city up. He cut the crime down. You could go to New York. People in New York could live. He didn't raise taxes to do it either. He just made the people that were already there do their jobs. But communists, Marxists, and Islamists like Mandani, that shit don't work, because all they know how to do is promise freebies and then waste tax dollars trying to give everybody freebies, and it ain't long till they can't pay their bills. Mandani, he's what? He ain't even been in office a year, and he already cannot pay his bills. There you go. Communist Marxism in New York will become filthy, trashy, dirty, and communists like LA, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle, you know, the Democrat Marxists, all they know how to turn stuff into into trash. Now, let me tell you something. Go to pop, get rid of public education, get rid of property taxes. If people want to send their kids to school, if they don't want them at home, let them pay the tuition because you've abolished their property taxes. Let them use that. Send their kids to a private school if that's what they want. Or see that their kid does their state lessons over the computers and that state provided tutors come in and handle them when things are weak. And let the parents feed, house, and discipline their children. You know, let the parents keep them warm in the winter, keep them cool in the summer. That's the parents' responsibility. And homeschooling has proved to be one of the better methodologies in our country. And it's, and let them form sports clubs. These people that are crazy about football and basketball and other sports, let them form sports clubs. That's what they do over in Europe. They don't have school teams. They form sports clubs, and the kids want to play sports, and they can get their socialization there in the sporting environment. But anyway, this is your hillbilly historian telling you that education, the sole purpose of education, is to be able to recognize bullshit when you encounter it. And there's an awful lot of bullshit out there, a lot. So you have a good day. This is your hillbilly historian giving you the truth, the honest truth that you should know and understand about America. You have a good day.